and welcome to episode 61 of the Arctic Knitting Podcast. My name is Emilie and I am as always coming to you from the northern part of Norway. Today I'm doing a little bit of a different setup. I'm just in front of my fireplace because it's warm and it's nice and cozy, and also the couch where I normally film is full of stuff. So I decided to just sit here on the floor and have a little chat with you. Today is Wednesday. It's the last Wednesday or the second last. I don't remember the date, but it's in the end of October. We currently have had, it's 9 o'clock in the evening, and today we have had the first day of frost here in the northern part of Norway. We have had frost overnight before, or earlier this year, and we have had snow as well, but we haven't had a whole day where the temperature was below 0 before today. Luckily, I changed into winter tires on my car earlier this week, so I'm all good to go, ready for winter. Yay! Are you getting winter where you are? I'm interested to know when winter is coming to the rest of the world, because today, or this year, it's actually quite late here. It's not normal for us to be going into November soon without having had any snow. So today it's been just below freezing point, which is 29 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's absolutely freezing. You have to scrape ice off the windows of the car, and if you know me and have been following me, you know that I'm not a fan of winter. I'm thinking about doing a special episode because I don't really hate winter as much as I sound like sometimes. There are good parts about winter as well, but I'm thinking about doing a special episode about living in the Arctic during the winter, and if you have any questions for that, put them down below and I will answer them in that episode if I ever get around to doing it. You know, life happens. I put up on Instagram last night saying that I don't have that many projects to talk about. It turns out I had more than I think. I had more than I thought. But I put it up and lots of people want to hear more about spinning, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about spinning today. Also, my good friend Marte, who was the one who lived with me. Yeah, basically that's what she did. For 2 weeks when we were traveling to Bergen and MIDTNORSK STRIKKEFESTIVAL, she told me to talk about her. So, hi Marte! Marte is amazing. In case you wondered, Marte is amazing. I'm putting her Instagram handle. It's Marte Kufos. I'm putting her Instagram handle here. She was the one. If you saw me on either of the festivals, you will probably have seen Marte as well, because we were together the whole time, or most of the time at least. There's not many people that I can go traveling with for 2 weeks and still be friends with after. So that's great. We work together. That's yes. I think I'm going to have Marte come join me for a special episode sometime in the near future, but you know, life, we have to figure out a time where we can actually do a recording where we don't have kids. Of course we have kids all the time, but when we don't have to have the kids with us. So there might be coming a special episode. Anyways, yeah, also I'm thinking about doing Vlogember. I know that Vlogmas isn't my thing because December is way too busy for that. But maybe Vlogember could be the one. I have tried vlogging like 1,000 times before and I never stick with it. But I think I'm going to give it another chance, you know. 24th to charm or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, today I'm going to talk with you about knitting. I have 2 finished objects and 2 works in progress. And then I'm going to talk with you about spinning. And there will probably be some rambling about commercial and hand-dyed yarns and stuff in the middle. I don't have any acquisitions today, but I think most of you are okay with that. I don't really have that many acquisitions very often. And yeah, I'm not going to do an Arctic living segment. I'm going to try to make vlogs instead, because my life is just day-to-day life. I have trouble seeing what's interesting to talk about because, you know, I'm just getting up in the morning, going to work, going back home, making dinner, putting Ludwig to sleep, and then sitting and knitting all day. That's my life. Of course, dye some yarns. Next, yeah. Anyways, not going to be an Arctic living segment this week. I thought we should just, now I'm rambling on for 5 minutes. Let's just get into business and talk about finished objects. I'm going to start with the one that you have seen before. I casted this one on, there's needles falling out. I casted this one on when I was in Bergen to have something to knit in the car and also on the stand. So this is the yarn that I'm using. This is by hand-dyed yarn. This color is called I Wish I Was a Punk Rocker. It's from a song that I just absolutely love. And also I kind of sometimes I wish I was a punk rocker. I'm born in the 90s and kind of wish I had been born 30 years earlier. I want to experience the 70s and the 80s. Luckily the 80s are coming back to Norway, at least in fashion. Yeah, rambling on. This is my fjell, formerly fjell base, formerly known as fjell base. It is a superwash merino and nylon. It's 420 meters on 100 grams, so you know the normal sock weight, normal sock yarn, but every indie dyer is using some equivalent of that. So I knitted a pair of just vanilla socks. It's been a long time since I knitted vanilla socks. And I finished this, but I kind of realized why I haven't been knitting them in a long time. I used a little bit of rib. I think I used 2mm needles or 2.5. I used 2.5 because I just used what I had in hand. Normally I would go down to a 2.25 or a 2mm, but I used 2.5 on this. I cast it on 60 stitches, knitted 10 rounds of 1x1 rib. Then I knitted the leg for 60 rounds, which is my normal go-to, before I moved on to doing the fish lips kiss hill. This hasn't been blocked, it's just on the block right now. So I did the fish lips kiss hill, which to be honest I haven't been doing in so long that I have trouble doing that. So I'm not sure which one it is. I think this one. This is the first one. And the heel is not perfect. You can see there's kind of a little bit more gaping there because I did something wrong with picking up the stitches, or yeah. Then I did my normal wedge toe after stocking out for 55 rounds, and this fit me perfect, but they are going to be shop samples whenever I go to shows. So I don't really have much to say about them. These are just normal vanilla socks. What I will say is these blockers, they are so amazing. I think this is one of my favorite things that I have ever bought, alongside with my loom. The wheel that I haven't been buying, but I'm going to be buying, that will be a favorite. And the mitten blockers. And these are from Patricia of KNITOGRAPHY, or P4chan, which is also known as. She has a channel here on YouTube. She has just gotten her sheep back to her farm, or to her farm, not back, they haven't been there before. But she's gotten her sheep to her farm, and you can follow her sort of in her day-to-day life of... I've been following her since she started podcasting, and when her goal was to get the sheep home, and she has finally gotten to it, and she's doing so well, and it makes me so happy to see. She's going to be on the TRDStrikk, the Trondheimstrikk, which is a tiny, not a festival, but it's an event going on in Trondheim this weekend, which I could have gone to if I had wanted. I really wanted to go, but Trondheim is 800 kilometers away from me, and Sondre is going away this weekend, and 800 kilometers is a long way to drive with Ludwig in the backseat. So I'm just going to pass on this one. But it's such a shame, and if you are in the area, I really urge you to go, because it looks like an amazing event. They had done one before, which was in the spring, and it was one of the only events in Norway where I was really bummed out that I didn't go, because it just looks amazing. And the people who are arranging it, they are super professional. They seem to have, of course I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but they seem to have everything under control, taking really good care of people, and are making an event that is absolutely awesome. So that's a recommendation for me this week. Patricia is going there. That was what I was going to say. Oh, I have 3 finished objects. The second finished object is one that you haven't seen before, and I'm just seeing if I have the yarn here. I don't have the rest of the yarn, but I'm going to talk about it. So I made a pair of mittens for Ludwig. This is a Norwegian pattern that I think most of the Norwegian knitters know about. It's called barnehagevotten, It's a free pattern from the blog Strikke og Hakle, I think it's called, knitting and crocheting. I'm going to link it down below, and if I forget and you want to make these mittens, you could just search for Barnehagebotn. It's only available in Norwegian, but if you ask any mother or any knitter who has kids in kindergarten what are the best mittens in Norway, they will say this. It starts out with just a little bit of garter panel before it goes into just a little bit of stockinette that is long enough to go up under the sleeve of the outerwear for the kids. Then it has a ribbing just around the wrist, which makes it fit really comfortable on a kid's hand. And it has just a little bit sort of Selby mitten style, but of course much shorter than the one you see in the adult version. So there's only 2 increases here. You increase 4 stitches over 6 rows, or you increase 2 stitches every 3rd row, and then you do 2 rounds of stockinette before you take off stitches for the thumb, knit stockinette up until the top, and instead of it decreasing like we are used to, at least in Norway, you decrease on the side of the mittens, you decrease this in the round, which makes this goes, you can have it like this, or like this. Which basically means, you can see the way that they are folded, that they look like 2 left mittens, but the thing is that you can switch them up, which make this awesome for little hands. Ludwig is 3 years old, in case you didn't know. So he's starting to get the whole, she can put on his Selby mittens, but it can be hard to put the mittens on the right hand. So he can, there's no trouble for him putting these on himself. I knitted these on 3mm needles, and I knitted them, of course, as I always do with mittens. I knitted them off a yarn that is 100% wool. The yarn, 100% Norwegian wool, in fact. The yarn that I used for this is Sandnes Merinoull, which, if you are in Norway, you will know about that. It's one of the, I won't say one of the oldest yarn, but it's a yarn that's been around for a long time in Norway. It's 100% wool, Norwegian wool. It's 100 meters and 50 grams, basically a DK weight. And I knitted them up on 3mm needles. The tag on the band says, or the tag on the yarn says 3.5mm needles, but I knitted these up on 3 to make them fit. And the thing is that these aren't felted, they are not supposed to be felted at all, or a little bit, but I haven't been washing them, and I won't, because when he uses them and his fingers get wet, little fingers get wet, keeps them warm in wool, but you need water and agitation, which I have now learned is called agitation, so that's what I'm going with from now. Thank you to the ones who told me about that. That's, yeah. So you need moist or water and agitation. So when his little hands get wet and he keeps moving them, they will felt a little bit on the inside, which will just make them even warmer. So we are getting this with him to the kindergarten tomorrow, because Barnehagebotn basically means kindergarten mittens, and that is exactly what these are intended to be. The color of this is, I think it's 2015, but I'm not completely sure about that, but it's Maisgul or corn yellow, which is a color that is being discontinued. So these are 50% off both in Sandnes store online and in most of the yarn stores around Norway. So when we discontinue this in my store, the yarn store that I work in, I grabbed a few skein because I love this color. And did you know, in case you are in Norway and you haven't caught up on this, BERGEN is now available in 8 more colors than it was before. I don't remember, I think it's 40 colors now, but I'm not completely sure. But they discontinued 4 colors and came with 12 new ones, so there's 8 more colors. They have just come out with a booklet with patterns for just BERGEN, and both the patterns are amazing, and the yarn, the colors are really gorgeous and really up to date. It's like sort of the kind of colors that we want to use these days. They aren't hanging back in the 80s anymore. Not that Sandnes has been really terrible at that, but that's a tendency in Norway that some of the yarn companies doesn't see what's going on with the whole. It's like they haven't discovered internet yet. I guess that's the deal around the world. And if any of you who are if you are not in Norway and you want to get hold of this yarn, you can always shoot me a message and I can send you a PayPal link and I could ship you the yarn from the store that I work in. At least for now. If I get like tons and tons of messages, I can't deal with that, but for now I can do that. If you want a few skeins of BERGEN or Finull or something from Rauma or Sandnes or Dale or the store Alpaca or any of the other Norwegian companies that we carry in the store. The only thing that you have to be aware of is that of course we do sell patterns, but the patterns are always only in the Norwegian. The next finished object, as you can see, I like this color. And give me a minute, I need to fix something. So, as I said, you can see that I really like this color. This is the same color in Sandnes Merinoull, which is a DK weight merino wool, which is meant to be knit up on 3.5mm needles at a gauge at 22 stitches. That's the gauge that Sandnes Garn itself normally recommends for this yarn. I made this on the loom together with the same yarn. It's Sandnes Merinoull, which basically just means merino wool, and it's just merino. It's not merino and other wool, it's just merino is a kind of wool. So I used a brown one together with the yellow one, and I played a little bit with making, yeah, you can see squares. I don't know the word, but you can see what I've been making. This hasn't been washed, so, and you can see there's a bit of mistakes. There's one. The edging is by no means perfect on this. I actually had much more luck weaving with alpaca, so I have put some alpaca on the loom now, which I'm going to show you again next time. I used 3 skeins of each. I have a Ashford rigid heddle loom, or knitter's loom, which is 40 centimeters, and I put up the whole length in like segments, like one bit yellow, or 25% yellow, 25% brown, 25% yellow, 25% brown. Then I did a little bit of yellow, a little bit of brown. Not just a little bit, I did 20 picks or beads or whatever it's called of each color to make this pattern. You know, normally I'm not a big fan of alpaca. I don't really like alpaca. I think it's too soft, because I don't like really soft yarn. They feel like, it's like someone says, Kristin of the Bonava says it feels like butter kittens, and that just sounds disgusting to me. I'm sorry. I realize that many people like really soft yarn, and I can see the charm of it, but like the alpaca soft, it's just, it has no hold to it. I like to, sometimes when I knit with alpaca, and especially alpaca silk blends, I feel like I can't feel the yarn because it's so soft that it disappears against my hands. And it's the same with wearing them. They are just too drapey, and they don't itch on me. I think they look gorgeous on others, especially in shawls, and it could look pretty in lots of projects, but it's not my kind of yarn. I don't like working with it. So I was a little bit surprised when I realized that I really liked working with alpaca on the loom. And then I tried merino, which is a yarn that Sandnes Merinoull is a yarn that I enjoy working with. It's a yarn that I highly recommend. It has the softness of the merino, and it's tight enough spun that it still has some hold to it. So it's an absolutely gorgeous yarn for knitting. However, it's terrible for weaving, at least for me. I didn't like working on this at all. I couldn't get the tension right. It was just too slippery, which is kind of, I don't really understand how, because the alpaca wasn't. But I think it was just the roundness of the yarn. It just kept on falling everywhere. So I will not be weaving with alpaca again, or with merino again anytime soon. Alpaca is on my loom right now. I'm going to show you that another time. And yeah, this is 40 centimeters wide, or almost, and it's my wingspan and a little bit more, so it's probably about 190 centimeters wide. I just did fringes because that's the only thing I know how to do, and I think it looks kind of cool. So this is going to be mine. I'm just going to wear it like a scarf, like that, and maybe every now and then at work, especially when I get cold, I can wear it more like this. And maybe I should get myself a pin that I could put in front here, and I could just wear it like this, or I could wrap it around and tie it on the back again. That would actually look really good. I could do that. Now I found my new style. Thank you for listening to me rambling on. So yeah, that was my 3 finished objects. I have 2 works in progress to talk with you about today. One of them is in my hand-dyed yarn, and one of them is in a commercial yarn, which I am going to talk more about after this. I really wanted to show you this in my last episode, but I couldn't because the pattern hadn't been released. Yeah, but I'm knitting this in Sølje. This is the vesle frikk. I don't think I showed you this. I haven't kind of deja vu her. But this is Sølje, and this is lilac on the Vilje base. These are 2 bases from Rauma. No, not from Rauma, sorry. These are 2 bases from Hillesvåg that I'm dyeing. So this is my hand-dyed yarn. There's my logo, it's Arctic Yarns. Vilje is 100% pelt wool, and Vilje is 100% lamb's wool, and Sølje is pelt wool. They are both about 350 meters. There's a little bit of a difference. I don't really have it on the top of my head. But they are about fingering weight, 100% wool yarn, just 2 different breeds. And the thing is that the pelt wool, or the pelt wool sheep, or it's a crossbreed from the Gotland and Norsk. I don't remember the English word, but it's a crossbreed, and the fiber of this sheep is normally grey. It's grey before I dye on it, and therefore they have made Vilje, which is a base that is lamb's wool, so that you have a white to go with this. Because if you dye only, or I have tried this, I have been dyeing on this on pelt wool for a long time. And when you dye on a base that is grey from the beginning, it's really hard to make 2 colors that have really good contrast. So they have come up with a white one that is supposed to go with this. So that works out wonderfully. And I'm using these 2 together, as I said. And the pattern that I'm making is a mitten pattern. Let me see if I can get this up here. It's mittens. This is a design by my good friend Ellie of SKEINDEER Knits podcast and SKEINDEER Designs. And this is the second mitten. It's the inside, but I'm going to put that down so I can show you the first mitten, because I actually finished one. I have been knitting on this for a little while. The pattern was released just before this weekend. I think you can see it there. It's a little bit hard with lighting because, you know, Arctic, I don't have daylight anymore. But this is it. This is knit up on 2.5mm needles, and I haven't made a thumb on the first one either, but they are going to fit me beautifully. If anything, they could be a little bit tighter, so I could maybe have gone down a needle size, but I think when I use them they will fat a little bit and they will fit my hand really comfortable, so they are basically just perfect. And as I said, I wanted to show you this because Ellie is recommending my yarn for this, so thank you so much for that, Ellie. She has put my yarn as one of the recommendations. There is going to be there's a post on Instagram where I show you the different color combinations that I found that I think will look really gorgeous, but you're also more than free to hop on over to my shop and find your own combination if you want to do that. These are called the spinny mittens. Yeah, I love them. They are absolutely gorgeous, and I love making mittens in hand-dyed yarn. Also, I have yarn for most of Ellie's pattern, if not all of them. And now I'm going to start dyeing on a bulky weight. I have bulky weight yarn on the way in the mail to me, which is Blåne, and I don't remember the name, but it's Blåne from Hillesvåg. And I have this one, Sølje and Vilje, which are fingering weight, and then I have Tinde and Sol, which are DK. So I have hand-dyed yarns for, as I said, most, if not all, of Ellie's mitten patterns, if you're interested in trying to make the Norwegian mittens out of some hand-dyed Norwegian Arctic yarns. Yes, now I'm just shamelessly promoting my yarns there. But I'm guessing if you don't like that, you're free to go. Yeah, anyway. The other yarn or the other project that I'm going to talk about is currently living in my PLYSTRE backpack. Everything else is just living on the floor around me. This one is living in the backpack. The yarn that I'm using for this, and this is an unusual yarn for me to use because it's, yeah, it's just, I don't know. But this is Konfetti, again by Sandnes Garn, one of the suppliers in the store that I work in. This is a gorgeous yarn. You can see, if you know anything about yarns, you could probably see that this is supposed to look like hand-dyed yarn. I think they even say, it doesn't say on here, yes, it say this merino yarn is hand-dyed, which make every skein special and unique. And both big and small people can use it, or not big, but it fits for both the tiny ones as well as the larger ones. Anyway, this is a yarn that Sandnes has made to like meet the wave of hand-dyed yarns that we are seeing all over the world, and now it's now coming to Norway as well. The thing about this is that it's made for 7mm needles. It's 100 grams and 80 meters on each hank. And whilst I love the yarn is 100% superwash merino, and whilst I love the yarn and I love the color, and I also love the way it's sitting up, I don't understand why Sandnes would, when they are trying to put up hand-dyed yarns for the first time, I don't understand why they would go for a totally different base than every other hand-dyer is using. Because, okay, chunky weight sweaters are really popular right now, but it's not really chunky weight, it's more of the big needles, it's more thin yarn on big needles, and this just sort of doesn't fit into what's popular right now. And it's not it's hand-dyed, they say, but it's, why didn't they put up a fingering weight or at least a DK weight when they first did this? Because it's amazing that they are trying to do this, and yeah, I just don't understand the logic about it. The price point on this is it's a little bit cheaper than, it's 185 in Norwegian kroner, and so it's a little bit cheaper than hand-dyed yarn, but it's still expensive for being a commercial yarn, which also makes me really happy that when they are doing hand-dyed yarn, they put the price up instead of selling it too cheap. But yeah, I have 7 of these. I'm knitting a sweater from Olan, which is a Danish singer, I think, I'm not sure, Danish celebrity that is doing a collaboration for patterns with Sandnes Garn. And I am knitting one of the patterns from that collection, and this is so far I've gotten. I knitted the body. It is going to be big enough for me, it just doesn't look like it because you see there's lots of the scrunch up on the needles. But I've just finished the main body and I'm ready to start the sleeves. It's going to change my position a little bit. And I'm ready to start the sleeves on this. I think it knits up absolutely wonderful. It looks gorgeous knitted up. This isn't the color that I wanted to use. I wanted to use one that was a little less pink. They have one that is called licorice something, which is yellow and blacks and blues, which I think looks wonderful, but I could always do another one because that yarn seems to be impossible to get a hold of because we keep on ordering it, but it's always unavailable. They're always sold out, so I'm really looking forward to getting that into the store, and maybe I will knit Ludwig one of those. Who knows? This is going to be a sample for the store, and this is the yarn ball up because it's only 80 meters, so I couldn't be bothered to go get my ball winder for 80 meters of yarn. So this is what I've been working on knitting wise. I have knitted that sweater or the main body in 2 evenings. It's basically just 2 sit-downs because, you know, it's a whole sweater, but this is the 3rd skein, so it's only 240, it's not even that. 240 meters of yarn, so it goes by really quickly. And I'm getting ready to start on the sleeves. Now I'm off to talking about your wishes, which is spinning. My spinning is living in this project bag that came with the PLYSTRE backpack. It's one of the other things that currently have a bag. Most things in this house doesn't have a bag, it's just stuffed around in the sofa. Sondre is getting a little bit frustrated, but that's just the way it is. I'm spinning up a really thin single. I have no idea about anything because I'm a really new spinner. This is a job spindle that I think Lily from the Nordic Stitches podcast, she got this in a starter kit when she started spinning. She was way before me. So when I started spinning, she had lots of drop spindles, and I was visiting her, and she gave me this because she thought it spun really well, which she did. I have another one of those beginners drop spindles which I couldn't spin on. I couldn't figure it out. It never, you know, they say that it clicks for you, and suddenly you get it. I didn't at all, and then I got this drop spindle, and everything just seems to be working out perfect. So I'm spinning 100% merino yarn on this. Let's see if the camera will focus. So this is the first single. The thing is that I think that I'm not a drop spindler. I think I'm a wheel spinner. So I have been looking into buying a wheel. I have settled on a couple of wheels. That is one of the ones that I want. I want to go to Oslo to try one out at SPINNVILT. But I see that it's currently not going to happen. I have to wait until I get in money for something else. Or it's not about money. It's really not about money. It's not that I can't afford it. It's just that it's a big investment, and right now I have other bigger investments that I have to make in the near future, which I won't tell you about because it's a secret. But I have stuff going on in my private life that is putting a stopper to those plans of buying a spinning wheel. This came really sudden on me. I wasn't, it's not something I've been planning on that would happen, but it's a big opportunity, and you will get to know more about it, so just hang in there. It's just not something that I'm able to talk about right now. But the yarn that I'm spinning from, this is half of the braid of fiber. This is hand-dyed by me. It's a 50-gram braid. This is the other half that I'm currently spinning from. This is hand-dyed by me. It's superwash merino. Let's see if I can show you. And these are colors inspired by the Northern Lights, which is mainly green. It's really rare you have this purple. It's a little bit of purple in it, but you don't really have this all over the sky pink and purple Northern Lights. Those are the postcard Northern Lights, which of course happens, but that's not what we see every day in winter. Not that we see Northern Lights every day, but we see them a lot in the winter, and normally it's mostly green. And normally it doesn't light up the entire city, and normally you can't really see it that well from the city because of light pollution and stuff like that. So this is my take on the Northern Lights, and I'm just spinning it really thin. And since many people asked me about talking about spinning, I thought that I would do that. But to be honest, I'm not a spinner. This is my first project that is more than 20 grams, and I don't really know what to say about spinning. I don't really know how to explain it. I don't really know about different ways to spin. The only thing that I wanted to mention is that when I was in Trondheim, MIDTNORSK STRIKKEFESTIVAL, I met this amazing woman, Sundbø. She is well, I don't think she likes to be called a guru, but she's amazing. She knows stuff about stuff. She knows everything that there is worth knowing about wool and knitting history in the Scandinavian country. She has written multiple books, and if you go over to the podcast, which is called, if you are Norwegian or understand Norwegian, you can go over to KORNSTAD, I think it's called, MARTE, and it's going to be linked down below. And she did 2 interviews with Sundbø, which I really recommend watching. But in one of those interviews, Annemor told her about the first time she saw drop spinning, which was a long time ago. She had never heard of it before, and she saw a lady, or she had heard about it, but she thought that art was lost. She knew how to spin, but she had never drop spindle, and she didn't think that was anything anyone did anymore. And she went to Germany or someplace. And she was, I don't remember where she was, to a museum or some textile place. And there was this woman walking around spinning on a drop spindle. And Annemor went up to her and asked her, because that's the kind of person Annemor is, she asks if there's anything she wants to know, and that's why she knows about everything there is to know. And she asked her, can you teach me how to do that? And the lady said, no, I can't. But you can have this spindle from me, and you can try it yourself, because I can't teach you how to spin. Because you have to find your way of expressing your art in your spinning. And if I teach you how to spin, your art will get lost in my interpretation, or something to that extent. It's been a week since I saw it, and also I'm translating it on the go here. And I had kind of the same experience with spinning, but of course I have the podcast. I think I've been watching, I went to a class and I've been seeing YouTube videos. I think I even did a crafts class on drop spindling, and it's just never clicked. I could never really get it. But then last summer, or the summer that was now, I was just one day I decided I'm going to take up the drop spindle. It was warm outside, so I went out to the veranda and I started spinning. And I dropped it, and I dropped it, and I dropped it. And then all of a sudden, it really clicked. It was just like, there, I got it. It was just one of the you know, you have to have a feeling with what you do. You have to have it in your fingers. And of course, it comes with practice, 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 and all of a sudden it just clicked for me. I felt like I got it, and the moment it did that, I had decided that I'm just going to do whatever I want to do here, because none of this stuff that anyone has taught me is working. Because everyone was talking to do like park and draft, which can be useful, for God's sake, it can be useful if you, it's not anything wrong with that, but that didn't work for me. I'm the kind of person that needs to feel like things is going quickly. So I decided to give it a spin on the side of my towel, which makes it spin really quickly, and then I had to like draft like a crazy person, and then I could find my rhythm, to say it like that. Because when I was spinning it slower and was having to draft it slower, I couldn't find a rhythm that matched with the rate that the drop spindle was going in. So my tip, if you're going to try to spin for the first time, is of course take a class or something like that. Get the gist of it and know some theoretic. If you don't want, that's totally okay as well. But just give the spindle a spin, see what happens, and do whatever you feel like. And at some point it will just click and you'll find it, and that way you'll be able to express yourself in a different way through your spinning. And now my battery light is blinking and my back is actually getting quite warm, and I have to tidy up the kitchen before Sandra comes out. So I'm just going to leave it at that for now, and I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope that you leave a comment down below and just say hi. I really like talking with you guys, and yeah, I will talk with you again in a week, and everything where you can find me and stuff like that will be linked below. And if you like this episode, I hope that you will hit the subscribe buttons, because I hope that you will hit the subscribe button, because that makes me really happy, even though numbers really doesn't matter, but numbers make me happy anyway. So I will see you again in a week. Bye.